everybody. Hello Monday. Happy Monday. Man, let me try to open the blinds a little bit. That's better, I think. It is gloomy and overcast here today. I live in California, so we got the Bay Area specifically. So we got a little bit of the side effects of the Hurricane Hillary. Not too bad. We had a dusting of rain, but nothing like was down south. But it's just overcast, which I'm not complaining about. So I hope you're all having a good Monday. I'm good. It's a weird day, kind of, just with the weather and all. We had a good weekend. It was a mix of chores and rest. We got all our, weekly grocery shopping done, and I got ahead on a few house chores, and then we watched some baseball and played some cribbage. So it was a good mix. Hi, Donna and Jack. Thank you for joining today. I really appreciate it. What else? Trying to think. No big headlines here. I can't believe August is almost over. So I'm just trying to. I've been busy working on my other computer, or right now I'm on my laptop. I have a desktop that I've been doing a lot of graphic design work on, trying to finish up some designs for a new e-commerce shop that I'm going to open. I really want to have it open by the end of the month. I don't know if that'll happen. I set goals for myself, but I don't, burn out to try to get them done. Just take one step at a time. And so we'll see. That's what I've been busy doing. And so that's why I haven't gotten as many videos posted. I don't know. I kind of get very focused and goal oriented once I get on a project. Yes, I'm doing better than okay. Doing very well. Thank you for that. So I've just been kind of busy behind the scenes, working on some other things, and but still loving to show up every Monday for this and for you guys and for myself. And yeah, so let's see what today's question is. Pretty soon I'm going to have to write up some more questions, and I want to use these all up first. Depending on what it is, maybe I'll answer more than one. Let's see here. Okay, well, this is fitting. Summer is kind of almost over, but it asks, where did your family go on vacations in the summer? And I would say that we went to Minnesota most often. I can't remember any summer vacation we took that wasn't going to Minnesota. So both of my parents' extended families, for the most part, are from Minnesota. My dad's brother did move to Oklahoma, but we never went and visited them, mostly because they would come up to Minnesota. My dad owned a cabin in Hackensack, Minnesota, which there is considered up north. And my grandma and grandpa lived there for many years. After my grandpa passed away, my grandma still lived there. And even as she got up in age, got older, she would still stay the summers at the cabin. And then the winters with my aunt and uncle. My dad is one of four, or was one of four brothers. 3 have passed away, including my dad. And the one brother who lives in Oklahoma is still alive. So, yeah, it was a kind of a family tradition that as many of the family that wanted to would come up to the cabin for a summer vacation. And even before my parents got divorced, we would go to Minnesota because my mom's mom, well, my grandma, and all her side of the family lived south of Minneapolis in a town, now it's, I think, maybe almost a city, suburb called Farmington, south of St. Paul, kind of, more southeast. I don't know, it's not really directly south. But at any rate, yeah, so that's where we would go on summer vacation. And I think I mentioned in last week's video or the one before that meant we really didn't go on other kind of traditional family vacations like to Disneyland or Disney World or other theme parks. Um, I think it was my parents, well, they only had a certain amount of time off and they wanted to see their family. They wanted us to see the family, grandparents and such. And, I would say for whatever reasons, I'm not quite sure, my parents just weren't big vacationers in general. They kind of liked being home. And I don't know if that was in part because complicated, it was complicated traveling with, two kids, and then we had pets at home and all the things. Also, I will say a mitigating factor is I often had surgeries in the summer. So any back surgeries that I had to have for my scoliosis were done in the summer. So my school schedule wouldn't be interrupted. And I, thankfully they were at a children's hospital. And while it was a very, unpleasant experience in many ways, in other ways, I kind of thought of it as a weird summer camp. I don't know. I know that might sound odd to some folks, but I was very well taken care of. Some might say spoiled. And even though, um, how to say this, I didn't really have a choice, right? I was not going to be able to not have surgery. So my mindset was, well, if I have to go through it, then I'm going to look for the positive aspects and basically milk it for all it was worth. And so I had a back surgery every summer from probably second through seventh or eighth grade. And now that I think about it, probably the logistical aspects and the stress of that um, probably did not make my parents very conducive to wanting to travel, um, you know, because of that. So, yeah, that was kind of our summer vacation. And I loved it though. Even when I got to be an adult and I wasn't having surgeries and I got to make my own choices, I still loved going up north and going to Minnesota. And I can't wait for us to be able to go back, hopefully someday soon, and revisit some of those memories and see family and some family that Drew's never even met. So, yeah, uh, really, really good memories and a great place, I think, to go. So let's see. Share in the comments, obviously, if you, I want to hear if you had a traditional, a summer family vacation. We can keep the conversation on that one going there. And the second question is kind of a complete non sequitur, totally not something related to vacationing. It says, what is your go-to drink at the bar? Well, truth be told, these days I'm not much of a drinker. I kind of got that all out of my system in my 20s, and I started out kind of a lightweight with like wine coolers and whatnot, typically because I didn't really like the taste of alcohol. I still don't, to be honest. I'm not a wine drinker. Definitely not a beer drinker. And I don't know if this was my family, both my parents were functioning alcoholics. And so I was around alcohol a lot as a kid. And we kind of joke that my Swedish heritage, maybe my gene sampling there, makes me a little more tolerant of the hard stuff. So it is true. When I used to drink, I used to drink the harder alcohol, gins and rums, tequila. Ugh. Well, I can't imagine drinking tequila again. So after I graduated from like wine coolers, when we used to go out partying, me and my friend Robin, I would most often order shots because they were small in amount and I wouldn't get very full, or like cosmopolitans, martinis, but not like a real martini, just a very fruity, fun version of a martini. And so yeah, for my main party years, my go-to drink was a Cosmopolitan. I was also kind of the age of the original run of Sex and the City. with Carrie. God, what was her name in the show? Sarah Jessica Parker. And so they were very like popular and in vogue. So yeah, I drank those. But yeah, now even though Andrew and I still have an alcohol library, a bar of drinks and mixers, it just kind of sits there. I don't have the desire for it anymore. For me, it was much more of a social lubricant. Other people were drinking, so kind of the peer pressure, so to speak. And I recognized the fun for what it was, but that's what it was. And if I were to go out now with friends for like a happy hour or something, I just do a very light rum and coke, um, and do that. So, or maybe just a coke. I don't feel the need anymore to drink because everybody else is drinking. I do it because if I want to, I want to, and if I don't, I don't. So I'm curious about if when and if you did go out or do go out. And look, also I will say, no shade to anybody on who still likes to drink even well into adulthood. I know wine time is very popular, and I get that. And having a beer with the guys at football and all the things, it's totally cool. So I don't have any like negative or bad feelings about people who drink. I mean, of course, you want to be responsible. Don't drink and drive and all that. But yeah, so if you have a favorite wine, a red or a white, or a treat you like to get for a cocktail when you go out, share it in the comments below. And yeah, I think I'm just going to do the 2 questions today. I still have videos from, a couple Hello Mondays I need to finish captioning. So I don't want this one to get too long. Plus, I do want to get back to doing some more designs. It has officially stopped raining, so I think I'm going to take Alton for his W, which he should enjoy because the sun's not out, so he won't get too overheated. That reminds me, I need to make a vet appointment for him. I need to get his labs checked. I think he's doing okay, but he's been panting a lot more lately, and I can't tell. He hasn't been drinking a lot more water. But I can't tell if the panting is just because he's hot in summer or if there's something else going on. So I need to get that done. And of course, I will keep you posted. But otherwise, he's doing fine. And yeah, so thank you to Donna and Jack for showing up today. I really appreciate it. It means a lot that you think of me and take time out of your day to come and hang out. And for anybody who's watching this on the replay, go ahead and leave a comment. We can keep the conversation going there. And hey, do you guys notice anything different about me here? I got new glasses. Yay! My eyes were Manischewitz and blackberry wine. I didn't even know that was a thing. I might actually like to try tasting that. So is the wine blackberry flavored? If you can answer, let me know. That's something I could get behind. Wine often gives me a headache. And I don't know if it's the it's got to be something in the fermentation or I don't know, the tannin. I can't speak on wine educatingly or smartly, but that's why I've never really consumed it on the regular is because 8 out of 10 times that I've drank wine, red or white, although more so with red, I get a headache. And who wants to get a headache? So, but a flavored wine, that sounds interesting. Blackberry, raspberry. Okay, well, I will have to. Do you just get that at like your regular grocery store? Or do you have to go to a specialty liquor store? We have Bevmo here, which we really like. It's called Beverages and More. Okay. Well, thank you for that that tip, Donna. I will check it out. Because that does sound yummy. And thankfully, Drew's more of a wine drinker than I am, and so is his dad. So, if we got a bottle and I didn't like it, I know it would get drunken, whatever. You know what I mean. But yes, I got my new glasses. My eyes were bothering me one day, and so it spurred me to finally make my appointment to get my eyes checked. It had been almost 2 years, and sure enough, they tweaked the prescription. I do have progressives, and I was doing one of these things where I was having to move the frames. Thank you. Yes, I had the wire ones before. I don't know if you guys remember. I don't want to get them out, but I got used to the whole nose bridge thing. But I knew when I got a second pair, or a new pair, I was going to go away from those. So these are just a really traditional kind of plastic frame. They were actually on the sale rack. So, but I liked them because they have the little accent of red and then kind of clear around the eye. So yeah, got that done. But there's more on the list. There's always things to do. I need to get the car smogged. I need to, like I said, call the vet. All the things. But I'm gonna stop rambling now. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for the tip on the wine. I'll let you know if we end up buying some. I'm definitely gonna look for it. And yeah, have a great week. If you aren't already, I hope your Monday is starting out well. And yeah, I will see you next week, if not before. Thank you for joining. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.